In today's video, we're discussing a magic card that has climbed over 1000% and it shows no signs of stopping. Welcome back to another Card Spike video. I'm MTG Moxman, and thanks again for hanging out with me today. So, with Card Spike videos, we don't waste time. We get right into the meat of the matter and talk about why this card is going up and which card it is. So let's start out with the fact this is Terra Eternal. Have you guys seen this card before? We're going all the way back to World Wake. And of course, when we're looking at cards like this, first off, it hasn't been reprinted. That's a big thing right away. We haven't seen this card come around. World Wake was 2010, and this particular card, Terra Eternal, has never seen a reprint. But about a week ago, this thing was 90 cents, $1. And where are we now? And of course, what's going on with this card? Why are we talking about it? Well, as you guys can see, the sales started to climb. They started really moving up as soon as Avatar cards started to leak. This is a daily thing. People are hunting for this card, looking forward to building with this one. Now, when we look at Terra Eternal itself, this is a 1 white, 2 other casting cost, and it's an enchantment. And it is simple. It's like a singular thing. It says all lands are indestructible. Now, what I find interesting with that is you mainly use this, I guess, in Commander, but isn't like, I know it's not, like you can destroy a single land, but you kind of never do mass land destruction. It's kind of one of those faux pas I learned when I had my last, mass destruction deck when I was trying to build it. People were like, you can't do that, man. We don't play like that. So I learned you can't do that. And a lot of other Commander players don't allow it either. So what's going on? What's going on with this card? Well, it is because of Avatar. Here is Toph, the first metal bender. 1 white, 1 green, 1 red, and 1 other. Don't forget that Terra Eternal is only 1 white to cast. It can be blended into a lot of decks. And it says, non-token artifacts you control are lands in addition to their other types. Which means that Toph makes a lot of things into lands, and the lands are now indestructible, which means all of those non-token artifacts are now indestructible. And of course, at the beginning of your end step, you get to Earthbend. Target land you control becomes a 0/0 creature with haste. That's still a land. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. When it dies or is exiled, return it to the battlefield tapped. So there's a lot of craziness because of this little combination of cards. And unlike some other price spike things, this didn't just jump up instantly. It's been being bought up over the last week. The price is continuing. So let's just backpedal for a second here and take a look again at Terra Eternal. You can see here, it's up over the $6 mark, and it's actually going to be represented in the next 4 or 5 days when MTG stocks catches up on everything. You're going to probably see this card at the $10 or $12 mark, and it's still going. The sales are consistent. They are across the board. Hundreds of copies are leaving. I will be checking the card out this weekend to see if it makes it into a top 10 video. It is possible with this volume, because I know some people buying it at $1 managed to pick up 50, 60 copies. Now, of course, they don't need 50, 60 copies, but those copies leaving into numerous people over numerous times, it's hard. It's hard to count it all up, but we're going to do our best to see where this card ends up. Now, with speculation as rampant as it is with this card, let's all remember a fact that this thing is not going to stay at this price. It will not be able to hang on at these price levels because of one particular Commander deck. But that won't stop speculators from trying to cash in the early returns on the FOMO effect of a card like this. Now, the fact it'll spike up, it will drift down probably a little bit slower because of the gradual lift in its price. It's going to see a more gradual return to where it was, and it'll settle at a new price of probably $2 or $3. It's not the worst price. Now, of course, over time, if Toph sees a lot of play, if this combination of these two cards appears more often, or if other things come along to make it a more juicy card, you're going to see this thing keep rising in price until it eventually becomes a reprint target for Wizards of the Coast. Now, World Wake cards could be very unique. They're a great time in Magic's history, and a lot of these cards, although they're unique and singular in their effects, they weren't massively, used across the Magic universe of players. We didn't see tons and tons of cards, but as new Magic sets come along, as new little creative ideas from Wizards of the Coast take shape into reality, well, you're going to see cards like Terra Eternal and other cards from various sets start to see more value and more returns if you happen to have some. And that's why we see so many people trying to get in early and get as many copies as they can. Other stores are already paying attention to this as wish lists are growing on some of these cards and players are asking for it by name, which just also appears to show that Toph is going to be a very popular card that a lot of players want to build with. Either way, this is what is going on with this card, and it's something to know about. It's something to be aware of how the price fluctuations in this market can affect a single card or multiple cards. We saw this with Yargra, Eater of All, with Seeds of Innocence. We've seen it with a whole bunch of cards like River Song, through cards like Soldevi Digger. The good news is neither of these cards are, of course, on the reserve list. You'll be able to hash yourself out, wait 6 months to 9 months, be able to buy these cards at a cheaper price, and build the deck you want. You just may not have it the first day unless you want to spend 20, 30 bucks to get these cards and get the combination faster, which I know a lot of you guys do, who cannot wait to try out crazy combinations when they come around. Anyway, that's what's going on with this card. That's what's happening in the market. Now, you can also expect to see a lot more of these types of things appear for Avatar and Spider-Man. We're going to have the official spoiler season starting next week. You're going to have a lot of players diving into what's going on with these cards, and they want to see where the synergies are going to be found going forward. Also, players who are trying to switch their decks up or find a new way to stay ahead of the curve are, and of course, we are going to see speculators try to cash in quickly to move their money in and out, because 90 cents to 10 bucks, that's a big X return. If you sell 20, 30 copies of this card over that time frame, you're making a lot of money. It may not seem like a massive amount saying, well, it's a couple $100. Yes, but people do this all the time, and it can add up to a lot of cash flow. So players are best to pay attention and be aware that these prices generally do not hold at the higher level, and they tend to give way over time as interest in these decks becomes, less fashionable. The FOMO of the moment is not the long-term gains of the next day. So if you have patience, you're going to come out ahead. If you got to have it right now, yeah, it'll cost you a few bucks, but you can play it and find out what it's all about. Guys, Avatar is going to offer a lot. Spider-Man's going to offer a lot. And of course, the upcoming year, we're going to see a lot of crazy products that players just can't wait to get their hands on. We all know it's true. Where do you guys fall on this one? Do you like the idea of these combination cards? What are you trying out in your Commander deck? What's your favorite cards to play with? Put down some comments in the comment section. Share that with us here on the channel. And of course, this is a double video day. This video is coming out 15 minutes later as the 30K party video is already up and running. So thanks again for tuning in. Thanks for being supporters of my channel. And I hope you guys had a great one today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And I'll be back tomorrow, of course, with the top 10, the hottest selling cards in Magic the Gathering this week. This is the channel to stop by and check out which cards came out on top and which ones are losing ground. Thanks again. See you tomorrow. A big shout out and thank you to my fantastic patrons, the supporters of this channel who allow for these videos to be created each and every day. If it wasn't for the patrons and YouTube membership members, daily uploaded content is not made possible without them. So thank you again for being a supporter of the channel, joining the Team Moxman, and of course the 30K. Now we're moving on to 50K. What comes? Well, we're going to have to wait a while to see, but it's going to be exciting every step of the way. Thanks again. Now, I'm lucky enough. Welcome back to the Ramble Jamble. I'm lucky enough to have a Terra Eternal. I have one. Because I opened it in World Wake and I found it in a binder. I'm keeping it. I'm going to be just hanging on to that one in case I want to build that deck myself. Very interesting how people find the craziest combinations of cards. Love it. And the way the market reacts is totally ludicrous. Because we have a history now. A long history of seeing what happens since 2023 to 2025 and into 2026 coming up, seeing how cards react and how the price margins affect these cards over time and a financial outlook, which means basically none of these cards have held up long term. They do get repriced, but they don't hold the high. Most of them lose. Let's just say it's a dollar card and goes up to 20 bucks. It always seems to settle down at $3 or $4. So it gains, a certain percentage, but it never holds the high of the FOMO moment. These cards just aren't capable of doing it because there's still lots of them out there. And Commander decks are singular. There may be 10,000 people building that deck, so you need 10,000 copies out of the hundreds and hundreds or millions of copies printed of the card. So it can't sustain itself. You would need to see prolonged pressure on a card. It has yet to happen. Even reserve list cards that have been affected by these combinations have never held up. It's not that they're not great cards. It's not that they're not awesome and they should be bought anyway because they are reserve list. It's the fact not enough of a competitive edge and long-term growth and capability being used across multiple decks of the same card to keep the pressure on. You have one deck, 100,000 maybe, 200,000 copies. You don't have 100 decks using that same card to broaden and drain the market of that particular asset. It's crazy, but it's true. And I always think of reserve list cards like this, like Seeds of Innocence, and of cards like Terra Eternal. They're all like stacks of a tower. You want to own a piece of that. Now, of course, when they get reprinted, you have a whole separate building appear. So with reserve lists, each know it's a singular building. It's like old world, right? It's like, that one can never be copied again. It's just sitting there. How many do I own? 4? Great. I've got a percentage ownership in that building. Whereas new ones can be reprinted and refaxed out, which is great for any player who just wants to play and enjoy the game. Different for a hobby collector, but for those who just want to play, it's a good thing. Guys, thanks again for hanging out. Thanks for being here on the channel. And don't worry, I'll be back tomorrow with another video. The ramble and the jamble will continue. Whew. I've had a lot of coffee.